Hello and welcome to Driver's Therapy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Delmar ASE test preparation guide versus the MotorAge training ASE preparation book. Now, I think this is a really neat video because when you're studying for the ASE test, you're either going to be looking at a Delmar study guide or you're going to be looking at the popular MotorAge books. Now, when I was studying for the ASEs, a lot of people, I was talking about the Delmar study guides, how I use them, but I got a couple comments. People were like, you should check out the MotorAge books. And sometimes a lot of us could be just stuck in our ways. And I was like, well, I'm doing well. But I was thinking there's an opportunity to get the book, try it out, and then provide a video for you guys. And I also have a treat for you as well, because we asked Elise to read about a quarter of this book and give us her opinion, and I'll tell you why that is going to matter. Now, first off, let me tell you what I thought about it. So, as you know, I got that Master ASE certification. I just got it recently. And I can tell you that taking the test was a roller coaster. Some of them were straightforward. Some of them I felt like I wasn't going to pass, but luckily I did. So really having as much study material and just increasing those chances to pass is ultimately what I want you guys to have, and ultimately what we all want to have when we're taking the test. So the Delmar books, I'm going to be straight to the point. These books are pretty much, in my opinion, in just my wording, I think they're just a book full of practice tests. As far as learning content and learning theory of operation and actually learning about the subject, I really don't think Delmar has a lot to offer in that. They do have a section in the beginning that kind of briefly goes over the subject, but to be honest with you, the way that it's written, it really doesn't convey a lot of good information, in my opinion. But the practice tests are pretty dead on in what you're going to see in a real test, in my opinion. And not only that, what I was doing is after I took the practice test, I was writing down areas that I didn't understand, topics or subject areas or components that I was just clueless or I wanted more information on. And I would go on YouTube and I'd use the internet for supplemental information. But this wasn't providing that. So to me, it's a practice test. When I ordered the MotorAge book and I got it, and what I did was when I was taking the A2, the automatic transmission test, and this one right here as well, I wanted to get both of the books and get a real hands-on experience as far as preparing for a test and seeing how it helps me out by having both books. When I got the MotorAge book, I was surprised because it's the complete opposite of what Delmar is. It is a theory of operation book, meaning to me that it really breaks down a lot more of what the subject is. And for this was the automatic transmission, and it really talked about the components and everything. I thought that was really unique, and it was refreshing compared to Delmar because now I could actually get a lot of information from the book itself without having to look for it online. So that was really neat. Now, at the back of the MotorAge book, they offer practice tests, which is cool, but it's really neat because Delmar really is, in my opinion, a book full of practice tests, and the MotorAge is a book that kind of helps you understand the subject. Okay, so the reason why I asked Elise to read this book is because she is a bookworm. Besides having her doctorate, Elise actually grades essays for students trying to get into college. She's also started teaching at a local university here, and she just really knows grammar and books and English. So I wanted to make sure that somebody who isn't a subject matter expert could read the book and actually get something from it. So without further ado, let's bring Elise in here and see what she thought about it.
Hello.
Hello. So you're not an axle expert.
I am not an axle expert. Definitely not.
All right. So, Elise, you read about a quarter of this book, and what did you think? I mean, this isn't your subject area, and you don't sit around reading transmission books.
I do not.
So, what did you think about reading a quarter of it?
It actually conveyed information very nicely. It's straightforward. Whoever wrote it is definitely knowledgeable. They've got a very direct tone, and they've structured it nicely. Like each section has a little 1 or 2 paragraph introduction that kind of says, here's what this element of the transmission is about. And then they go step by step through all the different pieces and how they fit together and how all of that part works within the transmission. So, you know, as a whole, like, I did get some knowledge out of it. Can I go work on it yet? No, because as David said, I don't know this, but I understood a lot of it, and that's just coming in and reading it, so it's well written.
Yeah, and I think, you know, my impression on it was, you know, I always ask Elise if it's called the voice. Like when you're reading something, you could hear a voice of like whoever's written it, the author, whatever. In my opinion, I felt like whoever wrote this actually works on cars.
I agree.
And I felt like I was talking or having a mental conversation by reading this, and like somebody who wrote this was working on cars. Now, Delmar, you know, in my opinion, have you ever seen those YouTube videos that you click on there and you're thinking it's going to be a person talking, but it's like that robot voice. It's like, today we will be talking about, and really, I mean, the MotorAge really does sound like a genuine mechanic wrote this, and that's what I liked about it. And I did see what you're saying about as far as their introductions. They kind of try to set you up a little bit for the information. And as far as how it's written, like, do you think the average person could understand it?
Definitely.
Okay.
It's not complicated. It's not academically intensely written. It's normal language, step by step, and they've got nice pictures and diagrams too that are really good to kind of go back and forth and reference.
Yeah. And I think this is important, guys, because you got to think about it. You know, if Elise doesn't have a serious background with this, and this was overly complicated or not written well, she'd be honest, because first off, we're not sponsored by any of these guys, and really this is a video to help you guys out. And if it was overly complicated, you know, that would have been,
I'd tell you.
Yeah, or if it was written poorly, like if they outsourced it to somebody in a different country, which that happens.
It does.
And you could catch the grammar issues. Do you think it was written well overall?
I do. I think there was only one random word that shouldn't have been there in the quarter of the book that I read, which is good. So we'll take it.
Yeah. And you know, for us mechanic guys, we definitely are not writing stuff that, but again, getting that information is key, and I think MotorAge accomplishes that. Well, guys, I hope you found this video helpful, because I'm just really excited that I should have picked this up probably when I started taking my ASEs. I did it for the last test because I thought it'd be a great video, but just knowing that you could have this instead of spending all the time that I did, you know, looking on the internet and YouTube trying to discover some theory of operations, this really helps that out. And I think having both of these will just set you up for success. Well, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. And again, I wish you luck in your journey if you're taking the ASEs. And thank you again for watching the video. You guys stay safe, take care, and we will see you soon.